I know you think you're ready for what you're about to face, but there's nothing in this world like what you're gonna see out there. Yeah, it's nice now. Sunshine sweating on the brow. You're gonna get paid, and paid a lot, if you make it back. But fresh blood sheds easy. Nice days don't last, brother. I smell thunder on the horizon. Once you're in there, you can't stop. They want what you want. And it's your choice if you want to go home carrying a box full of gold, or be carried home in a box full of wasted potential. If you try, you might make it. That feeling, sharp as a knife, cold as the bodies you'll be burying, and you can stack 'em high, bounty after bounty, hunter after hunter. You'll stalk 'em, you'll bring 'em down, and your allies might fall around you, but the only thing that matters is that at the end, everyone else sits in awe. And you're the one holding the gun that's still warm. And I haven't even mentioned the monsters yet. It's safe to say that when it comes to multiplayer horror, Hunt Showdown is a masterpiece. But it's unlike a lot of other multiplayer horror games. People have come to expect asymmetrical gameplay, small teams against usually one killer. Now the difference is, every one of you, including yourself, is a killer in Hunt Showdown. The question is which killers are going to make it out, and how much money are they going to get at the end of it all. You're a hunter for the American Hunters Association, and your job is to go into the infected Louisiana bayou, corrupted by a malevolent entity of some kind of description, named the Sculptor, that's been twisting the locals, twisting the creatures, and just making a bit of a mess in the bayou and in the deltas nearby. And you need to go there, find the bosses, the stronger creatures that take up a bit of time for people who want to go in and make their money. You gotta take them out, you gotta banish them back to where they came from, and then you gotta take the token that's left behind and extract to get your reward at the end of the day, and live to die another day. Does that happen? Well, if it's your first game, probably not. If it's your second game, probably not as well, but eventually you'll get the swing of things rocking and rolling. The thing about Hunt is it's a game that's uncompromising. Like a lot of games that I enjoy, it has a learning curve that kicks you in the arse, but eventually you'll feel more empowered for it. It's a deep game with a lot of different systems, a lot of things to get used to, and a tone and setting that's unlike anything else on the market today. It's a southern gothic horror, totally drenched in the rancid atmosphere of the place that you now have to inhabit and complete your job, or die trying, and you will die over and over again. But the thing about Hunt that I like so much, the biggest appeal for me, is just how deliberate and unpleasant the world is in all of its additions, all of its little side pieces and set dressing. The whole thing feels well thought out from start to finish. Small details like the placement of a corpse inside of a building, bits of rubble, rotten wood that's fallen away, the general decay of the world that you live in this space. It feels like a place that is just filled to the brim with depravity and just twisted reflections of things that were normal and are now anything but. It embraces the Southern Gothic aesthetic, and it embraces the Southern Gothic setting itself, bringing in these elements of magic. It's not quite voodoo, but it's something arcane that these hunters can tap into in the way that they banish these essentially magical creatures, but a very dark, unpleasant, twisted magic. And it mixes all these elements together perfectly with this gunplay that just adds so much tension to the game. Like Rainbow Six Siege, for the most part, Hunt is one-shot headshots with pretty much any weapon. There's exceptions to this if you're using a low-powered pistol from fairly high range, or in some cases not that high range, but we're talking very weak weapons here. You're not going to get a one-shot headshot kill, but the majority of guns, at the majority of ranges you'll be fighting at, will kill in one headshot. Some of them will kill with only a couple of shots. Even just one shot will leave someone with 1 health with a very popular weapon that gets used. But the difference between the likes of Tarkov, which is another extraction shooter, and Hunt is that not only is there this expanded PvE in the form of bosses being essentially the core to the loop, in that they harbour the biggest reward you can get when you're in the match. You want to get these bosses killed, get them banished, which alerts the entire map, and then extract with their tokens. It also has gunplay that slows everything down, especially on console. I know my console plebs will sympathise with me here. Some gunfights can take a long time, and I'm talking like 30 seconds with someone that you're face to face with. If you can't land your shots and they can't land their shots, then sometimes it's time to put the gun in the holster, or, you know, maybe use the gun as a bludgeoning weapon, just in case. And this is the dynamism that I really enjoy in Hunt. It's a creepy game with a very dark atmosphere, and an atmosphere that, if you're solo, can feel so oppressive. The creatures themselves are already quite unpleasant and frightening. Their designs, fantastic. Very, very good horror design. Incredible, I'd argue best in class audio when it comes to a game of this kind. You can hear gunshots from across the map, and you can close your eyes and pinpoint exactly where the shot was fired. It's that good. And with all those elements combined with the atmosphere, the general horror feel, the accuracy of the audio, and the just oppressive gunplay with these slow western weapons. You're dealing with single shot rifles, you're dealing with revolvers, you're dealing with early self-loading pistols, early self-loading rifles in the case of some prototypes that the game has introduced, all sorts of stuff. But all of it shares one thing, and that's the fact that they are fairly clunky, slow weapons, and you really feel that. You gotta be deliberate, or you're gonna be embarrassed, or stabbed, or hit with a rifle. All of this comes together, creates a perfect package. If you play solo and you go in and you hear the pitter-patter of other people's footsteps nearby, you just know you're in for a bad time, and it puts you right on edge, and I love it, and I think you would love it as well. So, I highly recommend you check this out. If you're a fan of the genre already, it's a brilliant alternative. I personally have not played Tarkov. I've watched a lot of gameplay. Hunt, I think, appeals to me slightly more because of that horror element, and it's a very explicit horror element. It's the kind of game, if you do play solo at night, it's genuinely creepy. Like, it's unsettlingly creepy to play, and as a result you don't see too many solo people, because as well, if you're a solo player in a regular lobby, you're going to be up against teams of 2 or teams of 3. It always leaves you at a disadvantage, and there's something quite unpleasant about knowing that you've got a hunting party right on top of you and nowhere to go. Scary stuff. So, check it out, let me know what you think. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one, whenever that will be. Do pobacenia, everybody. Bye bye.